Hello Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to my channel. We're going to read your tarot cards here today, so please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's totally fine. Feel free to push them aside. You may want to revisit some of the messages at a later date. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. All that being said, let's get you some helpful, insightful messages. We'll set the intention, give you some good guidance for the coming weeks. I feel like this card is peeking out. It wants to be seen, the Four of Cups. So we'll take that into consideration with the Lovers. Interesting. So not knowing how you feel about maybe a romantic prospect, that might be one message here, especially if you're a Virgo who has some options. This may involve a Taurus, a Gemini, a Sagittarius, a Pisces. A lot of signs coming through. So let's see. Complicated relationship. I'm hearing someone say it's complicated. It's very complicated. All right. Why is it complicated? Let's see. So you have the Two of Wands, which is about which path are you going to take, right? It's an Aries card. So Aries is all about being a trailblazer. It's quite literally the ram, the head, the start, the first one. So it's about busting through those doors, busting them down and making a choice. And sometimes it can be impulsive, but with that it can be a tremendous energy for like athletes or something where you need a lot of energy and a lot of power and you don't spend too much time overthinking things. So with in this, because you're a sign ruled by Mercury, right? The mind and the mental energy is very important to a Virgo. It may actually be leaning you away from overthinking the emotions and going with your gut impulse. That's sort of what I'm getting is you kind of just have to make a move because eventually what's that expression? It's not making a decision is in fact a decision in itself. But I just feel like we're kind of stuck in this waiting period of waiting for something to be revealed or waiting for something to change. And I'm not saying it won't, but I don't know, with this kind of heavy kind of stone granite Taurus energy, things are kind of set in place for how they're going to be for a bit. So it's if you're waiting on another person for for their blessing, for their approval, for their answer. And I don't mean to be negative, Virgo, but I feel like you're going to be waiting for a long time. And I'm sort of getting the idea of don't hold your breath. Because ultimately this is about self-accountability and knowing what you want and what you desire. And sort of being able to cut through the BS. With the Ace of Swords, I see it quite literally working your way through those thick leaves of the jungle so that you can keep moving forward and seek out the clarity that you desire, because it might not be coming from a person or a source that is necessarily helpful to you in your path right now. So you may be clearing some things out. And for those of you who are confused, it feels like it's being divinely guided. It just sort of feels like the torch is being passed along to you and it's your turn to run the race. So there isn't this time to think oh, do I go this way? Do I go that way? What am I going to wear? I'm saying all that in metaphor, but it's when the whistle blows, you just go. That's sort of what I'm getting. And so there's this indecision that isn't helping you. It's you just have to choose a path. With the Wheel of Fortune, it's you just have to roll the dice and have faith that things are going to work out because, spoiler alert, they will. They're going to work out. But yeah, it's waiting to feel like you have the perfect strategy or the perfect information or the right move. I think that's wasted energy and it's causing more stress and chaos and anxiety. Again, I would say just roll the dice and pick a path. And, if it doesn't end up being exactly what you thought, you can always course correct. There's something coming into you, but it's about being an active waiter versus just sitting around waiting for life to happen. You have to show the universe that you're in it and that you're doing your part and that you're a participant in your life. And I know that sounds funny, but yeah, I'm just sort of getting this idea of stagnant earth energy. It's just it's a mountain, it's a hill, it's not moving anywhere, but the world around you is moving. So it's we got to get you back into the game. We got to get you participating here. I do see some of you being very indecisive or frustrated, particularly with a Gemini. But really it could be any relationship where, and I don't mean to be a buzzkill or negative Nancy or however you want to say it, but you're just not getting that reciprocity. You're just not getting that equal amount of time and energy and attention from a person who it feels like you've put a lot into the relationship or invested emotionally in it, maybe in ways that this other person doesn't even know. But it's just kind of I'm sick of waiting. When is this person going to understand that I'm a catch, that I'm the one they should pick? And it's no shade against you, Virgo. It's like this person doesn't know what's up, right? They got their head up there, you know what. So again, instead of sort of sulking and spending every night, in bed rolling around thinking about them, wishing they were here, why aren't they reaching out to me? Ace of Swords and then like the Eight of Cups to me is just like, peace, I'm done. Like, this is a headache I no longer need, so I am moving on. It doesn't mean that at one point in time this was my world and that I was very emotionally invested in this, but that red, like there's a lot of red energy here. It's about chasing that passion further and not settling. So for some of you, you may be in a relationship where the honeymoon phase is well over and you're just kind of like, when does it get exciting again? So to that, I would say you either got to roll the dice and shake things up. And with the Hierophant, you got to go against tradition. The Wheel of Fortune to the Hierophant, it's like what you're getting tripped up on is like this stuck energy, people who are set in their ways and same rhythms and routines, and they're never doing anything different. Well, yeah, of course it feels stale and uninvigorating, right? So you got to mix it up with your partner. You got to try new things, new techniques. You got to, whatever you're into, play dress up. I don't know what it is, Virgo. Or for some of you, it's just like, this person just doesn't do it for me anymore. It's like we've grown apart without even, obviously trying to do that or realizing it. It's almost like it got ahead of you and all of a sudden it feels like you're with someone you don't even know anymore. Or if it's not that, it's just like you don't share the same passion because you both have kind of started to veer down different avenues of life, which is fine, right? That happens. It doesn't mean that anyone is wrong or made a mistake or should have tried harder. It just means that you guys are maybe going down different paths, and there's something very exciting, but also brings peace of mind in knowing and acknowledging that and just understanding it as a new truth in your life, that maybe you're not as compatible with this person as you used to be or as you thought you were. And there's a tremendous amount of bravery with the Eight of Cups of, moving away from something that was once comfortable or stable, but recognizing that doesn't mean that's all I'm ever going to get, right? There's more out there to be achieved and accomplished and, to be explored. And, it's kind of like putting on sort of your adventurous side. We talked about Aries energy, being that pioneer, that self-starter, that independent, motivated person, and feeling motivated on your own, not waiting for someone else to sort of light that fire under you or tell you that you're good enough or worthy. It's about recognizing that in yourself. With the Two of Wands, Virgo, it's like you hold the world in your hands. There's so much potential to make a new start or make a move. But are you ready to do it? Because you have this Two of Wands, which is about action and energy, into the Three. I sort of see this as wanting to move forward, but second guessing it and being like, well, maybe something will come to me. Maybe there's an easier way where I don't have to take a big risk or I don't have to do too much. It's like, and I'm going to see this in terms of dating apps of like, that sort of like a stubbornness of, well, I don't want to be the first one to message. The right person is going to message me. And, just by simply changing your mind and being like, you know what, I've matched with this person. I'm just going to send them a random hello or a random message. By changing that pattern and that routine, you're opening your world up for some sort of greater situation to come in. Maybe it's a person, but maybe it's, this may resonate more on like a job application or something. Expanding your network, I'm going to say your comfort zone actually yields really great results. So take that risk, be brave. Yeah, some of you, I see a similar message here too, where some of you, it's like you're grieving the heartbreak and the loss or the confusion and indecision of someone who you have a lot of emotional investment in, someone you really like and desire, and I'm hearing picture perfect. It's like, you see yourselves just in a picture frame together. It's very like cute and adorable and something that you thought you wanted in your future, but their indecision is causing delays in your own journey, in your own spiritual path, in your own destiny. And so some of you, it's like, you got to put on your big girl panties or whatever the expression is. It's like, you got to show up and I see you either blocking this person out or changing the trajectory of the relationship. And for some of you, it may kind of come with an uncomfortable conversation that is long overdue. And I'll be honest, it does kind of have the essence of like ultimatum, like either we're going to do this and move forward with it, or this is where it ends. And I'm going to say for most of you, that actually feels warranted. It's not about being emotionally manipulative. Ultimatum is kind of a heavy word, but it is kind of this like, where are we at and are we doing this? So maybe that's not an ultimatum, but I see you needing to confront and address this person of like, I just need some clarity here, because if we're not a thing, I need to know so that I can press on, and do with my life what I'm meant to, because just waiting and hanging around for someone else to change their mind, like that doesn't respect you, right? It just doesn't respect your worth, your value. You know this, Virgo, I'm just reminding you. I have to be honest, for some of you who it's like you're being kept on the back burner, or feeling like you're waiting on the line for someone to reach back out to you or text you back, there's a strong possibility that they have their eye on someone else and they're waiting to see what pans out with option A, in which case you kind of seem like option B. And I don't love that energy. I'm sure you don't love hearing it. For some of you too, you may be sort of engaging I don't know if it's fully romantic or just flirting with someone who's already married. So again, be careful with that. I think it's going to set you up for some chaos and trouble and conflict if it hasn't already. I do see kind of this like secretive text relationship going on with someone who I'll at least say is committed otherwise. And the thing is, for some of you, you already know that. I don't think that's a big secret. And so slippery slope there, Virgo. I know that's not for all of you, but I do just have to put it out there. Like the Wheel of Fortune here, if you are kind of engaging with someone who's already committed to someone else, and I do mean romantically, right? Marriage-wise or something of the sort. It's almost like this inflated sense of fantasy of, one day they'll leave her for me, or one day they'll leave him and come, rushing into my arms. But until then, I'm just going to, settle for what I can get and the breadcrumbs. And, maybe I don't hear from them all the time, but when I do, I feel so good. I think some of you, it's just, you're like, I got to stop this. You come to some sort of realization that like, this isn't good. What am I doing? I almost get this idea that some of you have this vision or this dream, or this is going to be like really like kind of, witchy, mystical, metaphysical, but I'm going to say it anyway. So hopefully you can come with me on this little message here. I almost see some of you feeling like an out of body experience where it's like you rise above yourself and you have this new perspective, kind of looking down at your life. And for some of you, it's not literal, right? Again, in like a dream, or, it could even be some sort of like drug trip for some of you, like some induced thing where you're just like, you have this sort of shocking realization or like a wake up call of how much time you've spent investing in something or someone else that really hasn't benefited you. It's left you more heartbroken or more confused. And it's like, this is where the buck stops. This is where you finally decide to change your mind and again, choose an alternate path or an alternate route, or pursue that thing that you're very passionate about that you would put on pause for something or someone else. Maybe for some of you, it's your dream career. Maybe you had a very comfortable 9 to 5, but then management changed and, you've had, work overload, things put on your plate that aren't even in your job description or job title. And you've been, classic Virgo, you've been the great worker bee that never complains and is very service oriented. But then at the end of the day, it's like, I have nothing left. I have nothing left for me. My relationships have suffered. I'm not hanging out with my kids as much as I want. I'm never pursuing that thing I wanted to pursue. It's like you got lost in your own life, and you don't need to feel bad, right? I mean, this happens all the time, but there is kind of this, I'm even say for some of you, maybe like a scary wake up call. I don't like to do fear-based readings. That's not what I'm about. I like to give you empowering messages that make you want to go out and do something, right? But some of you may have, I hate to say the word near-death experience, but that sort of gets the idea of what I'm trying to say coming across, where there is this really like quick 180 degrees, like this turnabout, this about face, this I got to completely change this, I got to redo it, because something is on the line here that I wasn't seeing as valuable and as precious as it is. And for some of you, it's time. It's like I woke up one day and realized, I'm almost in my 50s and I still haven't done that thing I said I was always going to do. There definitely is like this, I got to change it up because this isn't working and I can't continue to do this because it's exhausting. It's stressful. I feel depressed. I feel empty inside. I don't feel like I'm fully living my life. And that kind of goes back to that Aries energy of this is a brand new start. This is like a rebirth for a lot of you. And, maybe this is happening in Scorpio season, right? Scorpio metaphorically is the death card. And that's sort of what I mean. There is kind of this ending, but then this really great initiative to start something new and like rehaul your life, to redo certain aspects of your life that were just kind of subpar before. Areas in life where you were suffering unnecessarily, it's like you decide to trim the fat and make make sort of the executive decision for your life to get rid of excess or things you don't need or things that are weighing you down and bringing you down. And I just have to be honest, for a lot of you, it is a romantic relationship. For a lot of you, that's what's been holding you back. And I mean, obviously, when you're with someone, right, you have this instinctual response to care for them and cater to them and serve them. And that's great, but you always have to come first, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. It's, put on your oxygen mask before you help your child or whoever, right? And with that, it's like you had been catering to the other person first for so long, it's like you lost sight of yourself. So there is like this coming back into you, this reawakening, this ignition, this start, this new spark, this new flame of, you know what, I'm actually going to take the steps to do that now, because it's been put on the back burner too long and it's not doing me any favors. So yeah, it's listening to your heart and what you want. Let's see, what else? Let's see. For some of you who are already married or with a long-term partnership, your person may be having fights or arguments at work. It's almost like they feel like they're being bullied or manipulated at work. I don't know if it's by a coworker or their boss. It could even be like a child at school. For some reason, I'm getting like bullying with this energy, but I don't know if it's directly, I don't think it's impacting you directly. I think it's someone who's in your circle of friends. I know this is such a bizarre message, but I'm almost getting to it could even be your parents. If your parents are older and I don't know if they're in a home or whatever, it's like there's a bullying energy around where someone has to like step up for themselves, or someone's going to need to stick up for them or help talk them through in order to sort of recharge or regain their own power and authority and confidence to stand their ground. There is a huge element here of standing your ground and not giving away your power to other people. I don't know why that's coming through. Some of you maybe just needed to hear it as confirmation. Maybe your spouse is always depressed when they get home from work and they're not totally opening up to you. For a lot of you guys, it feels like your spouse is like, it's like there's a bullying or really competitive but like unhealthy competition where it's like savage and cutthroat and very what do you call it, like commission based, it's savage, it's every man for himself. That sounds exhausting. So your person may actually end up leaving their job because they just can't do it anymore. Like it's taking a toll on their mental health. And there could even be something about like pressure or in the chest or heart pain or something like that. So and I don't necessarily think it's you, I think it's someone you're with. They may end up needing to go see a doctor because they're worried about their health and sort of the impacts this job is having on them. So again, just little things to look out for and encourage your person to take care of themselves, particularly their mental health too. And obviously that goes for you as well, Virgo. So something could be revealed in Scorpio season. There may be an opportunity for you or your person to travel for work, in which case you have to decide if you're going to move. Because I get sort of the idea that there's a lot of long distance travel, or you may apply to something where they're not hiring in your immediate area or the branch you are applying to, but there's a position maybe like across the country or in a different city or overseas. And it seems like, again, either you or your person, it would be a really good fit, but it's like, are you ready to take that major step and move to accept this job or this position or whatever it is? For some of you, it's a foreign country, or there may be a need to learn a foreign language, even sign language for some of you. That I don't know how that would factor in for your job, but there could be something beneficial about learning a new language. And again, I use that term loosely. It could be sign language. Yes, it could be French, Italian, German, Spanish, whatever. Others of you, it's like astrology is a language, right? So maybe some of you are going back to school for astrology and you're learning, keywords and symbols and metaphors and, what does this planet mean? The idea of like a language. And for some of you, it's like the tools of your trade. There's like a shorthand. There's like a language that comes with accepting this new position. And so there's a lot of studying. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of committing things to memory. But you're more than capable of it. But with that, there may be frustration of, I'm not learning it as fast as I would like. Just breathe, give it time, absorb it, and then take breaks, walk away, because you're going to realize you know a lot more than you think you do. It's almost like by immersing yourself in that material, in that environment with those people, you're absorbing it anyway. So yeah, I'm not saying you don't have to try, but I think you know a lot more than you give yourself credit for. And it happens with some ease. So breathe through it. You breathe through it. You're going to be just fine. Don't let that intimidate you. Yeah, there may be a Leo or a Taurus that reaches out to you kind of like booty call energy, and you're just kind of over it. So you may end up blocking them or not responding to them. If you're not dealing with a Gemini who doesn't know how they feel about you, it could be that a Gemini is desperately waiting to hear from you because they have feelings for you, but they're sort of getting hot and cold vibes. Or maybe it's not even hot and cold. Maybe they're just, I sort of have this idea of like romantic fantasy. It's like they already picture their life with you, even though you haven't even asked them out yet. So yeah, especially on dating apps, if you've been messaging back and forth, but you haven't met up yet, if you're at all talking to a Gemini, if you're privy to that information, I feel like they are head over heels for you, or again, vice versa. You may have fallen for the Gemini. Anything else? Yeah, again, world travel, moving to be with the mother or helping the mother through some sort of major change. Also, particularly a female who is a dancer, and it could be even like exotic dancing, or I'm going to say like stripping or something about dance. Of course, it could be ballet, jazz, tap. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it's coming through, but there's something about this energy feels like a dancer to me, particularly strong feminine energy. So for most of you, it would be a female, but it could be, you know, a more masculine energy that has more Venusian type quality. Maybe the mother was a dancer. I don't know why that's coming through, but that's going to be an important storyline that factors into some of the other messages we've relayed here. For some of you, a career in the arts, particularly movement, dance, something more athletic, coaching, training, body work. It could even be like energetic chakra work, you know, something to do with clearing or cleansing the body, detoxing, dieting, any of those types of careers. There's money to be made there. So I feel like in the coming month or so, there may be an opportunity that comes around that really strikes your fancy, but also could benefit your bank account greatly too. And again, I see some of you either going to an astrologer for guidance, or possibly wanting to study that yourself. This is the second or third time I've seen something with astrology kind of making itself known. So, I mean, you're halfway there, right? You're already watching a tarot reading, and those are kind of, you know, kissing cousins, so to say. I know, I hate that expression too. But anyway, all right, Virgo, let's get you one more message, and then that came right out. Maybe we should give you that one. Be immune to others' opinions. Don't take anything personally. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Amen. Amen to that. You should screenshot that and put it in your wallet. We'll get you one more. Anything else I need to tell my Virgos? There's a lot of different people coming through in this, so a lot of this may be storylines surrounding you, but maybe not directly yours, so keep that in mind. There we go. Two more. Sneaky. Everyone lives in their own dream. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. And then don't make assumptions, discern the truth. I like this card. That image feels strong. Let's see. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe that they are truth. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, and we take it personally. Then we react by sending emotional poison with our word. This creates a whole big drama for nothing. All right, Virgo, with that, I'm going to leave you with these tarot messages. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.